I work in Nairobi on some days and live in the city's suburbs. Let me start with the bad news. What most foreigners see when they land in Nairobi is only half the story. The short trip from the Jomo Kenya International Airport to the International Hotel in the CBD or to the United Nations complex in Gigiri is an eye candy. It is beautiful. But this picturesque ride conceals the squalor and deprivation that most Nairobians live in. 56% of Nairobians lived in slums and have no access to essential services such as clean potable water, toilets, decent housing and healthcare. I bet every city has its challenges and this is Nairobi's challenge. Unfortunately, most visitors and even some residents never get to experience this side of Nairobi and they live with only half the story. The other challenge is the traffic gridlock, especially during rush hour. If you live in the fast-growing suburb of Ngata Rongai and work in Nairobi, you could easily spend 4 to 6 hours in traffic daily. That is plenty of time. The only way to evade this traffic is to leave home very early, say 5 a.m. But since you got home late, you most likely didn't get enough sleep. Leaving home after rush hour is not an option as offices here open at 8 a.m. Now to the good news. Nairobi has some of the most advanced health facilities in Africa. Virtually all of them, however, are private, which means not everyone can access them. Many wealthier people from neighboring countries such as Rwanda, Burundi, DRC, Uganda, Tanzania and Somalia seek health services in Nairobi. 2. Nairobi is an enterprising city. Its residents are at the center of trading and commerce with foreigners playing catch-up. Most financial institutions, including the two biggest banks, are 100% local. The Nairobi Stock Exchange is one of the most vibrant on the continent. 3. Nairobi is the gateway to the rest of Africa via its highly developed airport, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Visitors to the East and Central Africa region often get there through Nairobi. 4. Telecommunications is highly developed. The country's biggest telecom company is one of the most profitable on the continent. 5. The hospitality industry is highly developed with many international hotel chains having a home here. I could say more, but I hope I have convinced you as to why Nairobi is regarded as one of the most developed in the continent. Nairobi is not the best, or the most beautiful, or the most developed city in Africa. It's a combination of a lot of factors. It has been a stable city, with a stable government for the better part of a century, rare in Africa. That, and the fact that it has UN offices attracted a diverse population. This diversity has contributed greatly to its development. Relative to other cities, it's very expensive, especially its real estate. This necessitates a greater investment by any buyer, leading necessarily to better buildings. Its public infrastructure is a bit average to be honest, and is just improving as others have pointed out. What stands out is the quality of private investments driven by high real estate prices, expat community and the fact that it was the main urban area for Kenya for over 50 years. Not necessarily the whole Africa but certainly East Africa. My observation is that Kenya has good liberal policy in terms of investment, money flow and property purchase by foreigners. Some of Kenya's neighbor country try hard to protect locals from foreigners, limits the right to buy property, limits the foreign currency flow. As a result, inverters pick the easier place to go and stay away from those countries. A good example that sometimes good intention results in just the opposite.